Hello everyone, in this video, I will show you how to use ChatGPT to teach you how to develop a game where the computer picks a random number and the player guess it in Java. Let's begin to ask ChatGPT how to use Java to develop a game where the computer picks a random number and the player has to guess it. Provide hints like higher or lower, only allow 5 attempts and showing the answer if it is wrong. Show all the steps and explain steps in detail to a beginner in coding. And here is what ChatGPT tell us. So step 1, setting up the basics. The first thing is to open a text editor. Open a plain text editor like Notepad, Windows, TextEdit, macOS, or any code editor you prefer. We are using Replit. It is a platform where you can write, run, and share Java code online. Go to Replit. Choose Create and type Java as the language. Create a new file. Create a new file and save it with a.java extension. For example, you can name it numberguessinggame.java. Let's write the basic structure. Start by writing the basic structure of a Java program. Import java.util, scanner. This line imports the scanner class, which allows us to take input from the user. Import java.util, random. This line imports the random class, which will help us generate random numbers. Public class numberguessinggame. This is the main class declaration. Public static void main, string, args. This is the main method where our program's code will run. Step 2, generating a random number. Create objects. Inside the main method, create objects for scanner and random. Scanner equals new scanner, system.in, random equals new random. Step 3, implementing the game. First, generate random number. Generate a random number between a specified range, example 1 to 100. Add the following code after creating the objects. Int upperbound equals 100, int random number equals random.nextInt, upperbound, +1, second. Initialize variables. Initialize variables for tracking the player's guess count and the maximum number of attempts. Int max attempts equals 5, int guess count equals 0, boolean has guessed equals false. Next, implement the game loop. Create a loop that allows the player to make guesses within the maximum attempts. Add the following code after initializing variables. The loop continues as long as the player hasn't guessed correctly and hasn't exceeded the maximum attempts. The player's guess is compared to the random number, and hints, higher or lower, are provided based on the comparison. If the player doesn't guess correctly within the attempts, the correct answer is revealed. Now we have the complete code. We first import the scanner class to read input from the user. Then, we create objects for the scanner and random classes. Next, we generate a random number between 1 and the upperbound value using nextInt, upperbound, +1. After that, we initialize variables for tracking the maximum attempts, the number of guesses, whether the player has guessed correctly, and display a welcome message. Then, we implement a loop that continues as long as the player hasn't guessed correctly and hasn't exceeded the maximum attempts. Inside the loop, we prompt the player to enter a guess and compare it to the random number. Based on the comparison, we provide hints, higher or lower, or display a congratulations message. If the player doesn't guess correctly within the attempts, we reveal the correct answer. Now let's compile and run. Open a terminal/command prompt, navigate to the folder where you saved numberguessinggame.java. And run this command to compile. javac numberguessinggame.java. After compiling, run the program using Java numberguessinggame. Now we can test it out. Let's enter 50, try again, guess lower. Let's try 25, again, guess lower. How about 15, again, guess lower. How about 10, again? Guess lower. How about 6? Sorry, we've reached the maximum number of attempts. The correct answer was 5. Next, start the game again by run the Java number guessing game. Let's enter 50, try again. Guess lower. How about 25, try again, guess higher. How about 30, guess higher. Okay. How about 36, try again, guess higher. Okay, let's try 43. Oh no, sorry, the correct answer was 41. Looks like the game is running. This version of the code should work as intended and provide the player with hints and a limited number of attempts to guess the correct number. It's a great way for beginners to practice loops, conditionals, user input, and random number generation in Java. Thank you for watching, hope you like this video and have fun with the code. Subscribe and let's learn code with AI together.